Hey everybody, this is Clayton Getz with eXp Realty in Richmond, Virginia. I am here with Mitch Ryback. Mitch is down in Brevard County, Florida, and Mitch is gracious enough to spend a few minutes with us today to talk about, Mitch is a former multi-office, correct me
Yeah,
if I'm wrong,
you're right.
or still brokerage owner that shifted a large independent multi-office brokerage over to the eXp model. And Mitch, if you don't mind, I mean, I've been curious since you did that. If you could just tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of how you got to that point of owning multiple brokerages, and then why it made sense for you to take what you built and put it underneath of the eXp umbrella.
Sure. So there's a couple things that happened. Firstly, we last November, so about a year ago in a couple months, we had about 115 agents. I had an opportunity to sell the company, which was great. I was very excited. A few $1 million, like $3 million. And everything was being negotiated. Everything was great until they wanted me to sign a 3-year employment contract where I had to stay in the office for 3 years. And I looked at them I showed them my phone, and I said, "That's my office." I go, "I don't go to the office. I have a general manager that runs the office. I don't go there." They said, "Well, we can't buy your company because if you're not there, they're all going to leave." Which, by the way, I think they're right. But I couldn't sell the company. So at that point, I had been checking out eXp for about a year and a half. I was intrigued by the model. I love the model. As a marketing guy, how can you not like the model? It's a great marketing model. But the problem I had with it was I'm a big broker. It's ego. Why would I give up what I'm doing? So what I did, I still didn't switch. So in November, I decided to get rid of 50 agents, get rid of half my staff. I got myself to nice profitability. Because if you're a broker out there, you really don't make any money. That's the reality. Even with...
Can you say that again?
Yeah. So as a broker, there's a reason why you're called a broker, right? You're broke. With 115 agents and $4.5 million in GCI, I was making about 80 grand a year. Now, I took $100,000 salary, so about 180 grand a year.
But Mitch, can you break that down just a little bit? Like, so why is it so not a profitable model because I hear that all over the place. Why is it not profitable?
So it's not profitable because you're always growing. So this is why I made these changes. So as you're always growing your business, you're bringing on new agents because, bringing on new agents, they're more loyal, they develop them. Of course, once you develop them, then they say, "Thank you very much," and they go join another company. So it's a constant wheel of moving. And then, so it's kind of funny. So you start out with 12 agents, which is how I started, 6 agents actually. And it was fine, but I wasn't really making any money. So I went to 12 agents, but I had to hire another admin person. Then I talked to somebody, they said, "Well, you got to get to 30. That's the magic number." So I got to 30, had to increase my marketing budget, had to increase my overhead and employees. But damn, I got to get to 50. Went to 50. I go, "All right, well, I just go up to 75. I can do this." You follow me? And therefore, it's like chasing your tail over and over and over again. 2 office spaces. At one point, we had 3 office spaces. We're down to 2 right now. 7 employees, $100,000 a month in overhead. That's where you are. And then you finally get someone that's, they're finally making you a few bucks, and they go, "Thank you so much, but, I'm going to get a 90% or an 80% split over there. I'm going to leave."
So recruiting, retention,
nonstop,
revolving door.
Yeah, and we have a great internet lead system and stuff. That's how we did all of our retention. But yes, still people would leave because they thought they were doing the business. And that's your typical brokerage. Everybody I talk to, and I talk to brokers every day, both with eXp, with my inside sales agents company. And that's the case. So to finish up, bring back to the story, there was no way to sell the company. I got profitable. So basically in January of last year, by February, I was making about $40,000 a month profit. Not bad.
Yeah.
I was pretty happy with that. But I was miserable because being a business guy my whole life, I've owned 22 companies in 35 years, is you build and you sell. That's the business. That's what you hope for in a business. And when I realized you can't sell the real estate business, I had to come up with a different plan. So like I said, I was studying eXp for a while. I met Jason Gessing in New York that January. And my biggest issue with it was my name. Tropical Realty is a very, very well-known brand here. Yeah. He says, "You keep your brand. Just be Tropical Realty Beachside, powered by eXp." I'm like, sold. So then I brought it to my agents because my agents said no, I couldn't do it. So my agents 100% bought in. They were getting higher splits. They got a cap. They get stock. They get better tools than I could possibly offer. So I tell people all the time, I would never in a billion years open a brokerage again. not in a billion years. And we're a big brokerage. We're really well known, and 700 transactions a year. I mean, it's a big brokerage.
Yeah.
And I would never in a billion years open a brokerage under eXp. So I'll be honest with you. So we switched June 1st. It was probably one of the most emotional days of my business career because I built this thing. It was one of those.
Yeah.
Even though last president said I didn't build it, I actually built it. Yeah. And it was very emotional. But then I got home and I looked at my wife as I was having a vodka, and I said, "Holy crap! I don't own the company anymore. I'm not liable anymore. This is awesome." And then I just started. I took about 2 months to settle. Yeah. Dust settled. We did lose 25 agents when we switched, but 19 hadn't sold a house. So we lost 6 really. Yeah. So we ended up with 40 agents when we started. I didn't bring any agents on until late August, and now we're I think about 162.
162 agents?
Yeah.
I'm
in 8 states, and we got people coming on in Canada right now.
Okay. So yeah, gotcha. So
but locally we have 105 agents.
So you started with how many?
40
in your brokerage in Broward County. Yeah, and then today
we get 105 local.
105 Brevard County.
Yep, and about another 60 around the country.
And then another 60 around the country.
Yeah, and we got probably about another 20 right now that are in the middle of onboarding right now.
Okay, so and that's Mitch. If you can just explain that too, just so people understand, because I think that's a huge. That was a huge aha for me,
right?
And a huge benefit to people like yourself that want to expand outside of their local market area, but don't want to have the additional costs. You have to take on the additional responsibilities of having a broker in that location. The traditional expansion model, if you will, for brokerages. I mean, how has that impacted you?
Well, it's been amazing. I mean, in 4 months, so we still have overhead. We're about $32,000 a month in overhead, which we're at break even right now. But in 5 months into recruiting people, we're already at close to $300,000 in residual revenue share. And just to give you an example on the dollars, because I actually thought about this when I was making this decision. If I sold the company for $3 million, after taxes and paying my small investors that I had, I would have made $1.5 million. $1.5 million is $75,000 a year. I can't live on $75,000 a year.
Yeah.
Now we're already at $300,000 a year, so we're almost just on rev share. So we're almost break even on rev share now after 5 months.
Yeah.
And by the end of the year, we'll probably have about 500 agents under us and be making a couple $100,000 profit, which is more than I ever made with my brokerage. And maybe by the time I retire on January 9th, 2021, not that I picked a date, we're hoping to be somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 agents nationwide in U.S. and Canada. And that's a $1.5–2 million a year revenue stream for the rest of my life. And on top of that, this is another big thing to look at especially if you're an independent broker or if you're somebody thinking about becoming a broker. I have a granddaughter with a very rare disease. And that's probably my mission in life, my purpose in life. And when I was looking at not being able to sell the company, I'm like, what's my legacy? What do I leave this to make sure she's taken care of? The ability to take my wife, get her license, my daughter get her license, my grandkids get them licensed when they turn 18, and set up a separate corporation. So when I die, the money funnels to them until the revenue share runs out. That's my why.
Wow.
Yep. Pretty powerful.
Man, that's awesome, Mitch. Yeah, and so I want to piggyback on that just a bit because the reason that I wanted to do this is because my wife owns a business in the health and nutrition space, and it's it just happens to be a business that where if she shares it with other people, if she locks arms with other people and helps them grow financially. So this business to me, it's all about the more people that we can impact and that we can help, then everybody wins, right? So the more people we serve, then everybody wins. And I love that about this model.
Right. Yeah, the best part to me, and I no longer, so as a broker, now I'm not a broker anymore, which is great. The two things that happen. One, I used to get 10 phone calls a day. Now I get 5 phone calls a week. So I'm still the team leader, right?
Yeah.
I get 5 calls a week. But now I get to change people's lives. When I looked at my agents, when I made this, when the whole deal fell apart last year, so if I sold this company, what did my people that made me who I am get out of this? Absolutely nothing.
That's huge.
Nothing. So when I looked at my agents who I love to death because they've been with me, some have been with me since the beginning, 14 years ago. Yeah. And I said, this gives them an opportunity, even if it's only $20,000 extra a year in their life or $30,000 extra a year in their life. How does that impact somebody that makes 70 grand a year, 100 grand a year? It's huge.
Game changer, complete game changer. So Mitch, what do you think? Why do you think that more independents what do you think the challenge is? Like because if it's really not a profitable model, why do it?
Well, I think what happens is you kind of get stuck in it, and the perception to the world is it's very profitable. So, I drive the nice BMW and, I live on the water. I mean, people perceive me to be very, very rich. They don't know that I go into debt every January and February, like we talked about before we went on the air, right? And so there's an ego to that. There's a big ego to that. And I think that was my block. That was what was blocking me was I don't want to give up being who I am. Everybody comes to me. Everybody looks at me and goes, wow, that's Mitch, the owner of Tropical Realty, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And when you put down when you look in the mirror and you go, all right, first of all, you're not as big as you look. I'm only 5'6", so I can't be that big. And I'm not really what I think I am. I'm really just the guy running a company that's barely breaking even. So let's get real, and where's my future go? And I can tell anybody that's thinking about becoming a broker, call me first. I will spend time on the phone. You'll explain every detail why you never want to do that in your life.
Wow. Mitch, I so appreciate you, man. I mean, this right here, what we just did, is going to change people's lives and you're right. I mean, the whole ego thing, I mean, I think we all get caught up in it. It's part of being human. And one of the things that my faith has taught me is just, the more, I had an experience here recently where it was tested and I did not respond the right way. And what I shared with my team was how just icky I felt because I let my ego get involved. And I walked away from it saying, even though I thought I would feel better because I was like defending my position, I walked away from it feeling worse than I did to begin with. And now I've got to put my tail between my legs and go apologize to this person for letting my ego get in the way. So that's huge.
Yeah. Ego is evil. I mean, I again, I'm a little guy with a big head, and I've had a lot of major successes in my life. But the reality is, when you push comes to shove, I'm just a regular guy like the rest of the world, and I need to put my ego in my pocket and help as many people as I can. And this is the best thing. We change lives. I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah. Mitch, you are the man. Thank you so much for spending some time with us this afternoon. I know you got a busy day ahead of you. So let's connect again soon and just really appreciate you, man.
All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.